Thank you, Chief Justice. Perhaps I should start by disclosing to the Commission that, like my colleague Shlope JP, I know the candidate very well. We go back many, many years. Good morning, Judge Mbenenge. Acting Deputy Justice Mbenenge.
Good morning, President.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And you?
Good, I'm fine, thanks.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you about your capabilities as a judge and an administrator because I don't doubt them. And I will also not hide the fact that I had hoped to poach you to the SCA because I think you would add immense value to the senior courts. But I respect your choice for now.
Thank you for the compliment, President.
I'm going to ask you about your temperament. I know that there have been tentative questions in that regard,
yes,
and you've answered them. But I still want to satisfy myself,
yes,
that what I know about you,
yes,
is actually correct.
Yes.
You described yourself as a forthright person, and I know that from personal experience.
Yes.
Now, this quality sometimes may come across as arrogance, as was pointed out earlier, and abrasiveness.
Yes.
Now, I want to know if it has affected your relations with your colleagues where you are acting now in any way, well, adversely.
To the best of my knowledge and belief, nothing whatsoever. I relate with all of them cordially. None of them has ever come to me pointing to the fact that I stamped on them somehow. That's the short answer, President Maya. I'm saying to the best of my knowledge. And I would have expected anyone for some other reason who thought that at some point I was a bit stern towards them to come forward and afford me the opportunity to deal with that sort of concern. For instance, I would have had occasions knocking on the door of a particular colleague, finding that the colleague is not there, not knowing where the colleague has gone to, picking up the phone and getting a response like this. No, my home is not far from here. I'm done with court. And I think I alluded to that earlier on. Moments where I have actually said, at least I should be put in the picture. If for any reason a colleague must be away, at least I must be put in the picture and get to know. What happens if you go there, you happen to be working on your pool and you drown there, and I don't know that something has befallen you. Now, President Maya, you will agree with me that at the level of us being adults, one doesn't take kindly to being steered in the right direction when somehow people come short. I earlier on alluded to the fact that transparency is something that we should continue selling. People who finalize their cases on Monday or Tuesday don't have the right to simply disappear. I know that when I pick up the phone, checking where so-and-so is, I would never have shouted to the top of my voice. I would simply have said, oh, I thought you were in your chamber. I've got a matter to share with you here. I don't know whether you follow what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. The point of substance is that if an adult is found wanting and is corrected, the response may not necessarily be positive. Yeah. That's all I can say.
All right.
Work is work, job is job. Yes.
I'm satisfied with your answer, Judge Mbenenge. I have a few more questions.
Yes.
The one relates to a perennial problem in that division. We know that the Eastern Cape Division has consistently, over many years, struggled to get competent women judges, not for lack of effort.
Yes.
Now, have you been able to identify the cause, and what ideas do you have to address that challenge? The other, let me just list them, then you can answer them all at once at the end.
The first one, President Maya, is about
the
problem in identifying
gender diversity in that division. Despite the fact that a number of women have been given a chance to act there over and over again, but when they come here, they are found to be not appointable.
When they come here?
When they come, yes. Those who come here. The other question relates to problems that were brought to the attention of this commission in earlier interviews, that there are serious challenges in the magistracy. Now, if you are appointed, you would have to assume responsibility for the well-being of the magistracy as well.
Yes.
Now, I want to know if you've looked into that area, and what have you found, and what ideas do you have to improve the dire situation that was described to us before?
Yes.
The last question relates to your relationship with your competitor, Judge Van Zyl. You work in a very small division, very few judges there intimately.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know if your candidacy now has affected your relationship in any way, and also whether if he is appointed and you are not, you will accept his leadership.
Yes, thank you. Let me simply deal with the last one as number one. We relate well with Judge Van Zyl and Van Zyl DJP, who is my superior at Bisho. I know of nothing that separates the two of us as brothers. And I expect him to answer a similar question, and I can state without fear of contradiction that he will confirm exactly what I have said. There is no reason why I would not serve under his leadership if he were to be appointed and I not. I know of no reason. We traveled together yesterday flying here. We conversed about this and that. We've related well with one another as far as I'm concerned. We may be having different temperaments. I may be this extrovertic person. He may be more on the introvertic side. That's neither here nor there. As far as I'm concerned, we are relating well. I think that should allay your concern, President Maya, in relation to that question. Then the issue about gender diversity and the fact that we've had women come here and not taken on. I was not particularly involved in the appointment of acting judges, even as a judge at that particular point in time. I'm not talking about me being a DJP at the present moment. I just have that one philosophy that there should be less of trial and error. That is a notion from which I spring. People should have proved themselves as competent lawyers. There are many women who are competent as lawyers. Well, it is said that some have had to come here and not get to be recommended to be judges. So I can't directly proffer an answer for a particular functionary who was responsible for the selection during that era. But I have shared with the Commission what my philosophy around acting appointments is. I believe there are many female practitioners out there, female magistrates, who can be subjected to some form of test and get recommended for appointment as acting judges. They get observed, they are monitored, they are assisted and prepared to become good judges, and eventually get to be here and appointed by the Commission. That's how far I can take my answer, President Maya. Moving from the premise that there is a way of identifying competent lawyers, potential material for judgeship, and I believe women out there do qualify. They may be less when it comes to numbers, because of the disadvantages of the past, but I still believe there are. Then magistrates see shortcomings, I must confess. I've not had the opportunity to interact with magistrates in the true sense. All I can say is upon my appointment as acting Deputy Judge President, one of the functionaries that I met with was the Chief Magistrate for Umtata, with whom I shared my ideas and how I do things and what vision I have. For instance, the fact that chief magistrates should be of assistance in identifying magistrates who are potential judges. They should interact with the JP and be able to identify those who tend to be more on the side of being potential judges. I did interact with the Chief Magistrate, Mr. Solwandle. I also cultivated in him what I shared earlier on with this commission, the fact that we don't become not lawyers when we become heads of court. We still have to be in court, and we can only lead by example and promote standards in our various divisions. Yes, I think I've covered the salient features of the question, President.